All right, so let's do 2-3A at home practice. Now for this one, I'm not going to do every single question. I'll give you the answers for the last two, but I'll just do the first three questions so that the video doesn't take that much time. So 2-3A, it says find the equation for the line through points 3, 4, and 9, 5. So let me go through this on in a Word document. So we got the points 3, 4, and 9, 5. Now, if you remember, the equation for the line is y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept form of the line. Remember, the first step we always have to do is find the slope. In this case, because we're given 2 points, we're going to use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, what those things mean is the y value of point 2 minus the y value of point 1. So if you look at the y value of point 2, let's call the second point, let's call the 9, 5, point 2, and we'll call the 3, 4, point 1. So point 2, 9, 5, has a y value of 5. So we're going to go 5 minus point 1 here has a y value of 4. So 5 minus 4 goes on the top. And then on the bottom, 9 is the x value of 0.2, and 3 is the x value of 0.1. So when you divide that, you get 1 over 6, and therefore the slope is 1/6. All right, now we know something about this equation. In particular, we can replace the m with the value 1/6. So y equals 1/6 x plus b. In order to get the b, recall that all we have to do is we have to take one of these points. We know these points, when you plug them in, give a true statement, and therefore just plug in one of these points, either the 3, 4, in for the x and y values, or the 9, 5 into the x and y values. I'm going to use the point 3, 4. Now be careful, again, it's always x comma y, so as you plug this in, the 4 is going to be plugged into the place with the y, and when you plug in the 3 for your x, I always put parentheses around that, and that's a solvable equation for b. In particular, when you go to solve that, you get 4 equals 1/6 times 3 is 1/2. I would subtract 1/2 from both sides, and you would get 3.5 equals b. Okay? Now, remember what we're asked to do. We're asked to find the equation of the line through these 2 points. So we need to find the y equals mx plus b. We have m now, which is 1/6. We have b, which is 3.5. So the equation of the line, whoops, let me put that down there. The equation is y, whoops, dang it, excuse me, y equals 1/6 x plus 3.5. All right. If you use decimals for the 3.5, if you put 3.5 instead of 3.5, that's fine. If you use the improper fraction of 7/2, that'd be okay too. So there you go. Equation is that. By the way, it's really important that when you write your equation, you have the y equals, and then the slope times x plus whatever the b is. So that is the final answer. All right. Let me go. We'll put that a little bigger. There you go. So that's the final answer right there. Now the next question says we want to find the equation for the line through points 1, -2, and point 3, 19. Now, the same process is going to happen, but I wanted to show at least one of these because this has a negative value. So let me go through 1, -2, and 3, 19. 1, -2, 3, 19. Okay, so in the same way, we know we want an equation that's going to end up looking like y equals mx plus b. We go slope formula, y value of 0.2 minus y value of 0.1 divided by x value of 0.2 minus x value of 0.1. Now in this case, with the y values, my y value of 0.2 is 19. Again, I'm going to call that second one 0.2. This one I'll call 0.1. And then I'm going to subtract, but here's where to be careful. You're subtracting a -2. So when you do the subtraction, don't forget we are dealing with subtracting a negative. Okay? So 19 minus -2 gives me 21 in the numerator. And then obviously the x values 3 minus 1 gives me a 2 in the denominator. Now I'm going to leave that as an improper fraction when I go ahead and use this. You could simplify that. You could call that 10.5 if you'd like, but I don't think I need to. So once we have that, once you have y equals 21 over 2 times x, we're going to replace the value of y with, I guess we'll use 19, and replace the value of x with a 3. 21 over 2 times 3 is 31 and a half. So 31 and a half. So we get 19 is equal to 31 and a half. Subtract 31 and a half from both sides. So we end up with negative 12 and a half being our value for b. All right. And so y equals 21 over 2x. And this is going to be minus 12 and a half as your b. So the equation for the line is that. Again, the thing to be careful for when you do a subtract a negative, make sure you're doing the adding to here. Okay? So there you go. Those are the first two first two equations on that sheet. The third question on this page, find the equation for the line through the points 8, -2, and 9, 6. So let's go back to our work, 8, -2, and 9, 6. Again, we want the equation of the line. We want y equals mx plus b. Y value of 0.2 is 6 minus y value of 0.1 is -2. Again, 6 minus a -2. Make sure you're adding that, getting the correct answer of 8. And then x value of 0.2 is 9 minus the x value of 0.1, which is 8. You get 1. So in this case, the slope is simply 8. All right? So that means I know that the equation of this line is going to look like y equals 8x plus b. I know inputting one of these points, in fact, it doesn't matter which point you input. I'll put the 9, 6 in, so I'll plug in 6 for y, 9 for your x value, and obviously slope is 8. So 6 is equal to 8 times 9 plus b. So 6 is equal to 72 plus b. If you subtract 72 from both sides, you end up with 66, or excuse me, negative 66 as your b. So the equation that we get, we have slope of 8, b is negative 66, so y equals 8x minus 66. You could have also put y equals 8x plus negative 66 as well, but that's the equation. Y equals 8x minus 66 is what I got. So there you go. That's the first 3 problems of the 2-3 at-home practice. You can find solutions to the at-home practice problems for questions 4 and 5 in the back of the book. You simply follow the same format of finding the equation of a line through these 2 points. Start using slope formula for slope between 2 points, change in y divided by change in x, and then plug it. Once you find your slope formula, y equals that slope times x plus b, plug in a point, use that to find your b. And then obviously the final answer is the equation itself. All right, so that is it. If you wanted to, again, look up the answers to questions 4 and 5, those answers are in the back of the book.